well as skills development, because we are falling short of skills to meet the demands of the global workforce. So that is the reason to address this, education is a must. And the National Educational Policy 2020 has changed the model of educational system. During this educational system, only 50% of the students are enrolled. 50% only. Out of 100, only 50% are enrolled through formal education. The remaining percentage is not working. So for that purpose, government has designed one department called National Skill Development Corporation, where it has established levels. Those who are not acquired the formal education through colleges or institutions, they will be given opportunity to attend for their courses and qualify for that. For that, national skill frameworks they have developed. Level 1, ITA, diploma, whatever it may be. So if you go through that, we are having a mechanical engineers plenty, but we are not having mechanics. We are having electrical engineers, but we are not getting electrician. Suppose if you have any electrical problem, the getting of electrician is very, very difficult. Suppose if you have a fashion designer, but we are not getting tailors. Am I right or not?
Yes.
So skill set is very, very important, because as we are growing the population in India, so we have to match to the demands. Even we are not matching our demand, because suppose tailors, suppose in the OCF, ordnance factories, the clothing factory is there. They are all tailors. Now it was private, it was made it as a public sector. So we have to compete with the other industries, even for tailors. So no tailor is available. They left their profession. Like that now, tailors are also needed instead of fashion designer. So in order to address this 50% mismatch, so this NSTF has given levels, 10 levels, equivalent to 10th level is equivalent to the PhD. So they have made some courses, trainings. They are giving training. They are attending that courses, examinations, and they are qualifying through that levels. Once they qualified that level, that is, UGC has given a direction to public sector to equate ITA and level 2. Suppose a level 2 person has applied for that post, he has to be given preference. Like that, the rules are amended recently. So anybody can, those who are not having the educational system through formal mode, they can go through this indirect method. So to get that skill set improvement, the government has done this type of courses, has brought into the country. And the DGT, Directorate General of Training, they are conducting a number of courses in all facets, tailoring, embroidery, everything. There are a lot of schemes are there. So with this now, the people who are enrolled for such courses, they are getting skills and they are getting the employment opportunities. So in addition to that, India has several skill development schemes, including flagship Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, Jan Section Samsthan, and National Apprentice Promotion Schemes, and also Prime Minister Internship recently as given as a theme for DPA, all public sectors, to enroll. Initially, the first year, they have given for law, top 500 listed companies, they have to mandatorily undertake PM internship scheme, because 6 months they have to give a training to get the industry interface, skill and industry interface. For that now, the people will be definitely get acquainted with the skills. So the future of work is rapidly evolving due to technological advancement, globalization, and shifting economic and social landscape. Here, some of the essential requirements, employment skills, because the subject itself is the employment skills towards the future of the roadmap of 2047. So in the technological advancement, in my view, few have jotted down what are the skills that are required and all. No, just before you, I am going to tell. Digital and technological literacy is very, very, very important. understanding and working alongside AI, robotics, automation tools, data literacy, cyber security awareness, adaptability to emerging trends, technology, cognitive and analytic skills, emotional and social intelligence, creativity and innovation, leadership and people management. It is very, very essential. Leadership and people's management. Lifelong learning and adaptability. Lifelong learning. Lifelong. You have to learn continuously. Otherwise, when the technology is changing, and you should be equipped with the current trends. Suppose my son or my daughter, they are more computer savvy than me. So I cannot use so many applications just because the generational gap. What I feel. Maybe you people are young and you are adapted to that digital platforms and all. To some extent, I am able to do that. So this is due to the, generational gaps. So when we are moving towards that 2047, there will be another generation called G generation. So they will be more aspiring towards the digital platforms and all. They are more competitive with the existing generation. So these are all the requirements. Ethical and global awareness, it is required. Ethical decision making, navigating moral dilemmas in a tech-driven, cultural intelligence, sustainability and social responsibility. These are the techniques that are required for employment skills that are required for people towards 2047. So we need to embrace continuous learning, adaptability and interdisciplinary collaborations. The most successful individual will be those who integrate technology with human-centric skills. So human-centric skills is always required. Without human-centric approach, even though the technology improves, we cannot do anything. While maintaining ethical and social organizations, government and educational must work together to prepare human capital for this transformation future. So this is the all these stakeholders should work together to frame rules, to get trains, giving a training, e-learning trainings, all these things. There are many organizations they are going and giving to their various people. Now, healthcare is very, very important. Healthcare is the very, very important just because improved quality of healthcare will result into better productivity days. Healthcare industry is rapidly evolving due to advancement in technology and aging population and emerging global health challenges. So the skills required are digital and technology proficiency in the medical field, AI and data analytics, medical devices and robotics knowledge, clinical and critical thinking skills. Clinical things, I think some of the people are hospital administration, they know better than me. What earlier in the last presentation, in the last session, that hospital administration under the guidance of Mr. Dr. Chundu Garu has presented a paper in a very dynamic way. So they also brought so many things. Adaptability and continuous learning, that is very important for hospital administration. Communication and patient-centric care, it is very important. Leadership and teamwork, everywhere, any role, it requires leadership skills. Cultural competence in care. Suppose if you are treating with some other area people, you have to have some cultural this thing and all. Healthcare management and coordination. Suppose now we're coming into the gig economy because global pandemic has made us to go through the gig economy. Key features of gig economy: flexible work arrangements. We got enough flexible work arrangements. Technology-driven platforms. For all medical, you have various technological platforms like project-based and task-oriented work. Now, what are the challenges? Lack of job security. Suppose if you are temporary jobs, there is no job security. There is no health insurance for you. Legal and licensing issues will be there whether you have to do it or not. For example, doctors. Gig jobs, telemedicine and virtual healthcare. It's a booming subject now. Telemedicine. I think hospital administration people will better know. Travel nursing and paradigm nursing, short-term assignments in hospital, clinics and home healthcare. platform for nomad health, Aya healthcare, nurses like freelance medical writing and counseling, local temporary physician work. Temporary physician work is also is a short-term work arrangements. Home healthcare and caregiving. Suppose older people, people are engaging because of their various assignments. They are not taking care of their parents, so that caregiving. We are engaging some people, nurses or like that. Even we have engaged for our father-in-law like that. Allied health professionals and therapists. Future in gig work is that increased demand for telehealth and remote care, greater reliance on AI and digital platforms, more healthcare staffing platforms connecting with workers to gigs. Examples of gig economy: ride share and delivery, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Instant, freelancing and digital service, online teaching, tutoring, home services, handyman work, healthcare and telemedicine. So for doing this gig work, self-discipline and time management is very, very essential. Digital literacy and marketing, financial and business management, customer service and communication, building strong client relationship, adaptability and resilience. So what are the challenges in gig economy towards 2047 is income instability. Suppose if you are working for a gig economy and the big jobs, no, income instability will be there. Lack of benefits. Whatever the regular employees will have the benefits, we will not be given. Just they will give the amount and whatever project based amount, the income they will fix and they will give only. Other benefits they will not provide. So job insecurity, so that because after some time they have to leave that job, some other person will come for some other job. So job insecurity is there. Legal and tax responsibilities also there. So whatever earning you are doing getting, that should be taxable and all these things are there. With this, I am concluding. My co-resource person, Dr. Prem sir, is campus360.com, is the CEO and co-founder. CEO and founder. He has developed so many educational facilities, LMS models for students, teachers, parents. He has made LMS models. So with that now, with his experience in the education of the digital platforms, he will explain more liberally and he will interact with all of you. You can interact with him. You can learn more from him. Thank you very much, sir, for giving me this opportunity for say something about this subject. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. L.V.S. Sanmurthy garu. You have given a wonderful message on that area, particularly global economy, economical growth and social condition based on the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ideology, Vikasit Bharat. And at the same time, one more highlight on the concept of the global economy. We need to change the nature of working conditions, work, technology impact, the tenure-based employment, and online verification and inspections, everything. Whatever the present situation, we are observing the different types of the education skills and schemes, getting the employment opportunities. And at the same time, the government was established the previously DDU-GKY, Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gramin Kaushik Yojana, and PMKVY, Pradhana Mantri Kaushik Yojana. The both are the acting as skill development centers, skill development. So whereas the theoretical knowledge and as well as technical knowledge, it is very essential to the present situation. That's why everybody they are concentrated to different types of the modes of change of education system. It is very essential. So it is a good concept, and thank you very much, sir, for your version. And now I would like to invite Dr. Prem Sandri, CEO and CEO founder of Campus Plus 360.com, London and UK. So once again, I invite Prem sir.
Thank you, Murthy and Lincoln and members of the dais and all that. I think I've got a very interesting profile here. Either the chairs are too long or the people are too short, because I can only see the hair of most of the people and not their faces. And I was surprised if you all can see my face also. So what shall we do now? Can I see the faces of everybody? Yeah. అందరు మెల్లకల్లకి లేవు కదా సైడ్కి చూస్తే నన్ను చూస్తున్నారా లేకుంటే యా దట్స్ బెటర్ to get the best out of this conversation or discussion we have, right? I just give you a minute's profile of where I come from and what I can do, and then you can ask me questions so that you get the best out of me. Well, I lived and worked in India, USA, UK, Europe, Canada, and Australia. I have worked across 10 different industries, about half a dozen different domains, almost all roles in an IT sector except coding, and a couple of roles in management including HR, marketing, sales, organization behavior, organization development, and I think my skill profile will help you a lot, provided you all know what you want and can ask the relevant questions. Okay, I'm not going to present a PPT or go into the details of it. I will just randomly discuss something which are of very critical importance for you all in terms of your career and your skills. But at the same time, I'll still stick to the topic or subtopic we have here. Right? It says navigating the future of work. When you say navigating, which means you're talking about changing something or transforming something. That's one. And then it says essential employment skills. It doesn't say employment skills. It says essential employment skills for human capital 2047. So when we talk about change and transformation, three things must happen for effective change and transformation. Right? They carry the acronym SSC. Have you ever heard of it? Three things. What are they? Try. It doesn't matter, nothing's right or wrong. Three things if you do, you would do change and transformation. First one is stop. Today, what you're doing, there are a couple of things that you're doing which may be negative, right? Which may be blocking you, which may be blocking your career, your growth, anything. It may be an economy, anything, right? You need to stop those things which are blocking or inhibiting growth. Answer the first is. What could be the second is? It should be very simple. This is the first is. And start. It's the opposite of stop, right? So you need to start. Start what? Start those behaviors that will help you grow. Then what is C? Continue. You're using the chat GPT or something. Excellent. So continue. What are you going to continue?
What has started?
No, not just what is. Those that you have started and are good and are promoting growth. Right? So basically three types of behaviors. Right? Those that are blocking, which you need to stop. Those that will help you, new skills that help you grow, which you need to start. Those you already started, which are good, which you need to continue. Right? And anything, if you can categorize these, whatever you are doing today into these three buckets, you know what you need to do. And if you do those things, it will bring about change and transformation. Very, very simple. Right? Let's come to it. Then let's come to the second point. Right? We were talking about essential skills. So when we are most of the presentation, we're listening for the last couple of days, right? And I think everybody seems to be saying, hey, 45, something is going 47, something is happening. And what are the new skills for them? Which means you are focusing on start. But I'm saying, are all skills only to start? What are the skills that need to be stopped? What are the skills that need to be continued? You needed skills 100 years ago. You need skills today. You need skills in 2047. Right? So what are these skills? So when you say essential skills doesn't necessarily mean new skills. Right? Skills today, skills past. Right? And if you want to change and transformation, you must know where you are today. Right? So on a scale of, I'll go from -10 to +10 instead of going from 0 to 10. We must know where you are. Are you at -10, 0, +10, +5? Then you will know how much work is remaining to do change and transformation. And depending on how fast you do it, you will know whether you will reach a goal or not. And at the moment, I will not really worry about 2047 at the moment. I will come to the end of the session. Because you are going for a job, right? At 2047, I'm more interested in you all getting your jobs at the end of your second year and all, and then we will come to the later steps. Right? Now, so we talked about change and transformation, we talked about essential skills. Now we'll go to the skills part. Let's go to the goals first. Right? So I'm sure you will all need to plan and set up goals. And you must have heard of an acronym which goes with setting goals. How do you set goals? Or what should be the criteria for a good goal? Let's put it. What is the criteria of a good goal? Come on. I asked this question in a polytechnic institution for first year students, and all of them answered it correctly. I remember, they just finished their intermediate and joined polytechnics, first year student. You finished your graduation, you're doing MBA, and you're doing a course in management.
Where we want to be, sir?
What is the criteria? I mean,
Design.
Huh?
Design.
No. As you rightly said, it's called SMART. Heard of a SMART goal? You didn't hear of a SMART goal? Come on. Did you all not hear of the SMART goal? SMART is an acronym. What is it for? Acronym for what? Come on. You can open your chat GPT. Specific, measurable, accurate, realistic, time bound. A polytechnic students, let me tell you, they gave me the answer. The moment I asked them, they gave me the answer. So you need to define your goals smart. That's one. When you are defining the goals, see, a lot of people here are given a lot of information. I'm sorry, so they get a lot of information, right? And they gave a lot of dimensions. Right? And most of them focus only on technology. AI, the technology, right? Some of them did touch upon non-technology. If you have to think about a framework, because your MBA students are going at strategic level, if you're looking at a framework, there is a model which you use when you're doing strategic analysis. Heard of it? Yes? No? It starts with P, ends with E. I'll give you that hint. Which one? Come on. Maybe you're closer. Have you heard of PESTLE? P-E-S-T-L-E? Pestle or PESTLE. T is silent, but it's PESTLE. Political, economic, social, technological, legal, environmental. When you look at a strategic analysis, you need to consider all these factors. So similarly, when you're talking about employment skills, you need to identify what are all the factors that are driving the new employment skills. Right? And don't just look at the technology factors. So basically, actually, if you look at the paper that we wrote, which I'm not reading you all, right, we have classified the paper, are you listening? Right, into factors that contribute, that lead to new skills, right? And whether these factors have a favorable impact or a disadvantageous impact on you all, and what are the strategies to move forward. So I'm not going into the details because you have it in the work, you'll see it in the abstract, you'll see in the book that comes, right? But I'm going there. Right? So I've been asking you a number of questions, right? AI is not going to solve this problem, will it? Even for a chat GPT or Gemini or Copilot or for DeepSeek or including Perplexity, it can only give you information which you ask. If you do not know what information to ask, its tools are useless. Just one question. It will give you information, but remember, none of these are accurate. In fact, if you go to any of this, they tell you we cannot be accurate. Right? There will be a disclaimer at the end of everything. And I've tried using them, and I know they can be wrong, factually wrong, analytically wrong. In fact, I've tried wherein I used generic Gen AI tools. I fed the right information, and I said, please create a PPT out of it. Please create a video out of it. I use these things extensively. And I specifically make a mention, please do not change the meaning or the context of the material that I provided, right? It will generate a PPT, it will generate a video, but in the process, despite my instructions, it will make some changes. It will do some abstraction. And the abstraction will be as simple as changing a sentence or changing a word. The moment it changes a word or a sentence, it changes the entire context and the meaning that I want to convey. The words are there, but the meaning, the sentiment is not conveyed. So if you're trying to use AI as a tool, right, you need to have the intelligence to ask the right, it's called prompt. In AI language, we call it as prompt. You need to ask the right prompt. Having given the right prompt, it may give you the right answer, it may not be the right, it may give you the complete answer, it may be an incomplete answer. In which case, you must keep on prompting the chat so that you get the correct quality of information. That is a skill. Right? So forget AI for a moment. You all joined MBA program or MBA HRM program. Your teachers have taught you subjects. You have studied books. I hope you have studied textbooks and standard books and not guides, but that's up to you. So I will, as a test, right, I'll ask some very simple questions. The reason why I'm asking these questions is whether you can answer this question or not, and how well you answer this question will reflect your competencies and skills. Because if I'm asking you questions which are very fundamental, like SMART goals, PESL, and you don't know it, what does that reflect? It reflects on your skills, your competency, your knowledge, your attitudes, and what you are. With this, where will you go 6 months down the line? You'll forget 2047. And if this process, if this structure is what continues to go on, nothing is good. We keep on having seminars after seminars, and 2047 comes and we'll still be where we are. You understand why, right? So I'll ask some. I just use the word skill and competency. Is there a difference between skill and competency, or both the same? What do you think? And why I'm using skill and competency? I'll ask a simple question. So somebody mentioned about leader and manager, right? Are you all listening? So, what is the difference between leader and a manager? Is it just one difference? Or the multiple differences that differentiate? If so, what are they? I'm not answering. Then, there is something you come across the word. At least now, note down these terms that I'm saying. You can later on go home and do your research. At least you learn that way. There's something called connotation. There is something called denotation. You know what they are? When you use a word, there are certain things which are essential and the core for it. So when you say leader and a manager, what does it connote? What does it do? Right, fine. So you're not answering the question, is it? Fine. I will go to a different question. People have been talking about sector. Right? People mention sector. I'm seeing one skill, right? You heard of the word industry, right? You heard of the word sector, you heard of the word industry. You heard the word called company, function. Can you give me an example of a sector, an industry, and a company? Come on, somebody. Fast. At least tell me some sectors. Because we had two different interpretations this morning. Actually, listen. I think it was Mr. Srinivas. When he said sector, he said sector, the two types of sector: organized sector, unorganized sector. When Mr. Venugopal spoke, when Mr. Veeraswamy spoke, he said ITC is in three sectors. Which sectors he said ITC is in? Manufacturing, agribusiness, and technology or something.
Hospitality. Services.
Hospitality. Now, Two eminent people here gave two different definitions of sector. Who is right? Both are right. Okay. Perception. Fine. We don't know, right? Let's assume at the moment we don't know. Probably one person is right, the other person is probably both are right. How can both people be right? How can both people be right? Perception is a psychological term, right? But we are not using perception. Well, what could be the difference? There could be a different parameter, a different dimension from which each person, context, each person is talking in terms of different. Then what you must know, what is the context from which Veeraswamy is right? What is the context from which Mr. Srinivas is right? That's where you come across your denotation, connotation, and other things. Right? I'll keep on telling for a couple of more. Then I will tell you what is blocking us from giving the right answer or knowing the right answer. I want you to know this so that you will develop these skills with the next 1 week, 2 weeks, or 30 days so that you move towards good employment. You heard of role and position? You're HR people, right? Yeah. So you know that is the difference between a role and a position. Anybody? Simple question, role, position. Come on. Come on, don't tell me. No, not I'm asking. I'm asking our expert audience at the back. There is important reason I'm asking, right? Tomorrow you want to go for an interview. And you don't know these terms. How do you expect to clear an interview? Somehow you clear an interview, you get a job. How do you expect to progress in the job? And if some of you are in your third semester now, and if some of you are BCom students by any chance, or BBA students, for example, I know BBA, BCom, you should have covered all these things in your BBA itself. Why I'm asking is the summary of what you're supposed to present. Right? When I looked at the summary, I found a lot of words thrown in over there, like all of the future. So I had a doubt. Do these people really understand? Because you don't understand the word, you won't understand the sentence. If you don't understand the sentence, you won't understand the word. So let me start with something more basic. Right? So that's why I'm asking some basic questions as a reflection. Then I'll ask you. We did use the word, thing like slim organization, trim organization. What is the actual word that we should use? Lean organization. Okay. That's good. Somebody says lean, we know lean. But the most important thing is, do you understand what a lean organization means? Does lean organization mean slim or lean organization trim? Fine. So what does so what? What do you understand? I tell you, people say, what is economics? Subject economics depends on only two things, right? Demand and supply. You understand demand and supply is economics. Suppose I bring a parrot here, and the parrot is sitting there. I keep on saying economics, demand, supply, economics, demand, supply. After half an hour, if I say economics, it will say demand and supply. If I say demand and supply, the parrot will say economics. Does that mean the parrot understands economics? No. So if you all say the future model is a lean organization, fine, you articulate it the way the parrot articulates. But do you understand what is a lean organization? And why have we not researched to find out what are the trends in the future? What type of organization? I'm only stopping at the stage of a lean organization. I'll come up with different organization structures. And I'll give the answer. A lean organization where the number of hierarchies are less. Right? If you go to some organization, like especially in the public sector, you will start with the 20, 30 hierarchies or levels. When I say lean organization, which means probably I'll have only 3 levels or 5 levels at the most. Now, if you have the same workforce and you want to make the organization lean, what would you do? Which concept of organization is impacted? Yes? span of control. When you go flat, you need to have a larger span of control, which will impact your centralization and decentralization. Right? So you're all HR people, right? You must understand organization structures. I'm showing how all these concepts are related to each other. So if you read a guide, you will not understand half of this. You must read a proper standard textbook which will explain all these things are related. Now we are talking lean organization. Lean organization is also historical. You start from scientific management and all. Before scientific management brought in assembly line of production specialization. Then we went on into functional or departmental type of departmentation of organization. From there we went into quality circles way of organizing, Japanese pattern. Then we went to business process re-engineered organizations. We all know this, we all see this. From process re-engineered organization, where did we go? Or where have organizations gone? In process re-engineered organization, you're organizing your department, everything around the processes, which is the most efficient process. That's where you come across value analysis engineering, right? You come across DMAC and all, right? Wherein you organize everything on processes. So you heard of big data. When big data came in, you started reorganizing organizations around data. Right? That's when big data came in. So I worked on many projects wherein we started looking at, hey, data is the core. Who owns the data? Who consumes the data? Who produces the data? So the organization structured around producers, consumers, and users of data, because they're the most efficient way of organizing the organization, not based on processes. Now what happened? Even before big data, we talked about it, I think in 2020, 2018, 19, 20, 21. This span is just 4 years. Then AI came. So how do we organize the organizations now? You should organize them around and data and combine. So I mean, this is where the reflection, research, understanding helps. Not just repeating things like a parrot or trying to understand the concepts like that. That doesn't help you. And when you go to a good company for an interview, remember, I'm sitting in the corporate side. I'm a clinician. Go to the corporate. When I'm sitting and interview people, the simple things we look for. You don't have standard questionnaires and tests. You just have a dialogue and a discussion. And through the dialogue and a discussion, we know where you stand. Right? Now. So these are some examples. Then of course I'm not going to ask you what is the difference between AI, generative AI, LLM, green energy, carbon zero, big data, blockchain, AI, augmented reality, and all, right? There's no need, right? So when we presented the AI person presented Abdul Kalam Azad, right, speaking and all. Is that AI?
Yeah, augmented reality.
It is augmented reality, right? You're using augmented. At the back of it is still there in AI. How do you know? There could be an AI. It depends upon what is happening at the back end. For that, you need to understand what is an algorithm, what is a program, what is a procedure, and how they are generating the content. I think, if I'm not mistaken, what has happened is you have created a text file and fed the text file into the system, and the system is reading the text file using an avatar. Right? So if that is true, everything is purely Gen AI, which means you have a text file, manually prepared or someone prepared it. You got hold of a avatar, which is a tool available in the market. You gave the avatar a photograph of late president and said, use this for now. And I've done all this for myself. Right? Then you're done. But actually AI means you're just given a prompt, and that must go into the cloud, identify all the various features which Abdul Kalam has made, right? Read those features, pick up what is relevant for human capital, this project, extracted only the relevant one, right? And make the image speak it. Then, to an extent you have used AI. I still use an extent because it's still not gone into the language LLM, language modeling has not yet been done. You are still relying on existing, you're just pulling information, but still it's better than writing the program. For those of you who want to go into this domain, want to understand this domain, you must understand what all these terms are. I'm using the word, do not parrot. Do not speak like a parrot. It's called parroting. Right? Speaking something without understanding what it is and assuming you know the subject. Right? This is what you all need to be careful of. And the most important skill, yesterday, today, tomorrow. We all say communication, right? In communication, what is the most important part? Talking, lecturing, speaking. Of course, I'm obviously eliminating the most important one. Yeah? Listening. You ask anywhere, you go to any of these GenAI, ask any manager, they'll tell you. Most and first important skill is listening. Only if you listen, you know. Let's assume you don't listen to me, right? What question can you ask? What can you understand? What can you communicate with somebody? Nothing. Your listening is a gateway to your brain. It's a gateway to your human resource, if you will. If you say human resource is competency, your listening is the gateway to it. And when I say listening, it may be oral, it may be reading something, but paying attention, right? Then comes understanding, right? And then comes analysis. Analysis where you try to debate, you try to see how your understanding is rich. And then you decide on certain knowledge. That becomes your knowledge. And just for information, knowledge, skills, attitude, all three combined together is called competency. When I use the word, somebody uses the word competency, they're referring to knowledge, they're referring to skills, they're referring to attitude, all of them. It's only when you have all these three, you can say you are a competent person. If you say I'm a skillful person, that doesn't mean anything. A skillful person means you know to do something perfectly, but you may not know why you are doing it. Because you know to do it, you don't know why to do it. Somebody told you to do it in this way and you practiced and practiced so hard that you're perfect in it. But you can't train anybody. And if the situation changes, you can't do anything because you're doing something, you don't know why it is being done. So you cannot change it. Right? That is why just because you're skillful at something does not mean you're a competent person. Right? You must have the knowledge. And if you have the skill and the knowledge and you say, I don't have attitude, that is wrong because attitude is a part of your resource. So that's why we call it as a competence. So now you've got to ask yourself, I use the word understanding. That's a slightly very generic term. The most critical term you can say is critical thinking. Can you all think critically? If you had listened to this session, you would have realized that one person said sector is organized, unorganized, another person said sector is whatever it is, and then you have listened. Now you have got to understand. Then you think critically. Why did this person say this? Why did that person say this? Right? Are they both wrong? Are they both right? If so, that is a critical thinking. So when you go through, if you read through all the abstracts, read through all the papers that come out, go sentence by sentence, and try to think critically. Because if you start going through them, you will find a lot of inconsistencies. Also, apparent inconsistencies I use the word apparent inconsistencies because each author is writing from a particular context, from a particular perspective. It is very, very important you understand the context and the perspective. When you understand the context and the perspective behind the writing, that is when you will understand the mind of the author. When you understand the mind of the author, that is when you can criticize the author or debate with the author or discuss with the author. But if you're not able to understand the context, that's really a critical thinking. So ask yourself, are you a critical thinker? If you are good at critical thinking, then you will master any subject. That is the most important skill. So listen first, understand for which use critical thinking. And if you have done these two, you have knowledge. I'm not going to list all the other skills and all, because I can tell you I have summarized here, let's say, all the skills, factors, everything. And whatever I've summarized here has been already told, not just by a resource person, but by multiple resource person have reinforced it. The question is, having listened, I don't know how many people have made a note of it, aware of it, or remember it. Right? So I will not go beyond this, but I leave it open for you all. To ask questions, seek clarifications. You think I have missed something, use your critical thinking hat, and if you want to cross-examine me, question me, I'm happy to answer. Right? You all decide the time. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Or you say, oh, it's more than enough already. I see at least one person yawning.
అక్క చెప్పు రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ శాంతి గారు హాయ్ చెప్పండి అందుకే కదా తీసుకొచ్చా సార్ కాల్ మాట్లాడుతున్నారా ఓకే
It is very essential for all the peoples. And the one more important, the perception is the most important. Perception means it is the nothing but the observation capacity. What about the capacity of understanding particular aspect? It is the perception. And finally, you have mentioned the skillful person will win. The way the skill is there, then automatically will be win. This is the ultimate concept of the Dr. Prem Sandhi is an expert. In this session, the today national seminar India at the rate to 2047 human capital per developed India. The fifth session, the most important aspect is both are the expert and experienced personalities in the field of management area. So that's why it is very useful for you to learn the more knowledge. Thank you very much, sir. Both of you, thank you. And now it is the time for the session paper presentation. KVMS Srinivas Garu, Research Scholar, Deputy Manager HR, NTPC. Please welcome, sir. Please present your paper.
Good evening to all. Actually, my presentation belongs to the theme, sub-theme 4 actually. There was a shortage of time.